Usually I only get to say this once a year, but I'm glad I get to say it again. This is Championship Sunday at the World Ninja League Premier Series Finals, live from Fair Oaks Ninja Park in Brooklyn, New York. Hi everyone, I'm Alex Cunningham alongside a legend of our sport, Travis Rosen. Travis, this course by Ramses and Zach has not disappointed so far.
No, definitely, Alex. It has been an exciting weekend of ninja competition so far, and everyone knows Ferox is known for their technical courses. So you've got these obstacles that you have to be so precise, spot on, no mistakes, and it is exciting competition.
Well, we are also going to have a stacked field of competitors in this amateur female division. Try to take it down. You see on the right side of your screen the power rankings for these athletes. A lot of 2s, 3s, and 4s. These are some of the best ranked athletes from Season 8 in the young adult, and masters divisions.
Yeah, we're going to see so many talented ninjas this morning. They are going to put on a show. I know that they are excited. They put in so much work, so much effort to get here. There's been tough competitions, but they have earned their place to be in the first ever Premier League finals.
That's right. Had to get into the top 25% of athletes just to qualify for Premier Series in the first place, and then finish in the top 4 of their respective qualifying competition. And we are down to the top, 10. I see 11. I'm going with what's on the screen. Top 11 amateur female athletes in the world to compete here for Premier Series glory, coming to you from 4 different countries: US, Canada, the UK, and Australia. Truly a global sport we have.
Yeah, it's really exciting, Alex, to see again how much ninja has grown in its international appeal. And we have the proof right here. There are so many athletes from so many countries, and there are some incredible athletes represented internationally here, and they've had incredible contingents during this weekend, and it's going to be a great time today.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are at home, and just in case this is your first time watching with us at the World Ninja League, here is how this competition is going to work, just like the other qualifying competitions we've had. We are going to start with the placement course. It was about a minute time limit for the other divisions yesterday, and it is lightning fast. It's your traditional form of ninja, fall and you're done, and that will determine the run order for the challenge course. We have seen all weekend long and all series long, getting late in the challenge course is a huge benefit. On that challenge course, new format for Season 9 of the World Ninja League on the course end of the coin anyway. 2 retries, can't use both retries on the same obstacle. Time limit was in the 3.5 range. 9 very difficult obstacles, a lot of them techie, a lot of them grueling on the upper body. And whoever goes the furthest, the fastest on that course will be your Premier Series champion.
Yeah, Alex, we start off with the placement course, like you said, and it is going to be lightning fast. Truly no room for error. Like you said, one fall and you are done. And it really is important that you do well, because for the sport of ninja, whenever you can go further in the run order, it's always beneficial, because you get to see what happened with the ninjas before you, what worked, what didn't work. Maybe you have a way that you're thinking you're going to go through an obstacle, but you see others failing with that technique, so you can change up your strategy, and it is very important. But the good thing is, it is the placement course. If you fall earlier than you wanted, your day's not over. You just have to run a little earlier on the challenge course. And still, we've seen some of the first runners on the challenge course completely beast that course and finish it. So just because you might be one of the first ones to run doesn't mean you're counted out.
And we've certainly seen athletes come back and scramble from early in the run order. We've already seen earlier this weekend a couple athletes from the middle of the run order ending up taking the championship, but a lot of the time it is advantageous to run later on in the challenge course. And we're going to now take a look at some of the athletes that are hoping to claim their first ever Premier Series championship. And first up, we have Ivy Steen. There's Ivy. Third place at the World Championship, won here at Ferox the last time we were here. Coming out of Ninja Mania, made it deep into Stage 2 at the World Championship, also claimed the World's Strongest Ninja title. And then next up, Kari Whitby. We saw her brother Jai tear up the preteen division. Kari definitely has that ninja blood in her. She impressed greatly down in Australia. Now here in the States, looking to compete against the best of the best from around the world. Madeline Zernsak is going to be our next athlete. She made it deep into Stage 1 at the World Championship. Also qualified at Austin Ninjas, where she was in second place. Strong performance in the Arnold Classic, as you can see there in the video. Trains out of Grips in Michigan. Very talented athlete. And finally, Seda Magtoto, coming out of Canada, #1 qualifier at Life Force. Went out early at the World Championship, looking for some revenge here, as she is a very strong athlete, finished 4th in last year's Canadian Ninja League National Finals. Looking for some revenge, representing Momentum Movement Academy out in Vancouver. One more look at our run order. We are about to get ready to go here in the amateur division. 6 divisions to run here today at Premier Series Finals. Definitely make sure you tune in for all of them. It's going to be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun yesterday, a lot of intense competition, and I'm guessing it's going to live up to that hype again today.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, Alex. And I said this before that sometimes going first is not helpful because you can't see how other ninjas have been on the course. So, for our first competitor, Seda, coming up soon, she is going to be a bit challenging. She hasn't seen anybody go. And so she gets to set the tone and set the pace for all these competitors today. It's a big challenge, and it definitely adds to the mental challenge that these courses are so hard. They're so physically challenging, but you're going first. There's another mental aspect added, and our first runner is going to have to overcome that, and hopefully she will just crush it and show everybody else, hey, this course is doable. Let's get after it. This is going to be a great, great, quick course.
We've seen on a couple of occasions now the first runner in the placement course set a really high bar. So Seda looking to do that as well. Thinking back to preteen male yesterday, Michael Matthews set a 33-second time on this course, and he ran first, had 20 athletes go after him, and still finished 3rd in the placement course.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. It brings me back to some of my ninja days of old, actually competing in Japan with the Japanese athletes at the original Sasuke. And I remember seeing one of the Japanese athletes go first up, and he demolished the course, which is really, really hard to do that because, again, you haven't seen others do it. You don't know the exact best technique, but it is definitely doable. It's just another one of the many challenges that come with the sport of ninja, and that's why these athletes love it so much.
Looks like we're still trying to get everything in order. This placement course, 5 obstacles long. We have seen some surprising exits, and the time limit has been pretty tight. And now we have Seda Magtoto about to kick us off, coming out of British Columbia, our only Canadian representative in this heat. Certainly not the only Canadian representative this weekend. We got a teeter-totter now on run, and she is now on to the second obstacle.
Well, and something we're going to see a lot today on this placement course, Alex, is how many extra moves and extra time these ninjas take, because that is really going to be a difference maker on how far you go, what placement you get, and whether or not you can finish the course. Because sometimes ninjas will take an extra swing here or there, sometimes out of nerves and things like that, and it really has to be eliminated if they want to get as fast of a time as possible and potentially finish this course.
Well, she says she loves Lachey's. This is about a custom-built Lachey obstacle. Still 20 seconds, plenty of time. Great arc on those swings. Oh no, she slipped on the bowl. That's got to be so frustrating, probably thinking about the buzzer.
Yeah, you definitely hit that exactly right, Alex. Sometimes, especially when you feel like you've got an obstacle in the bag, you start looking ahead, and unfortunately, that little lack of focus can be the difference between falling and completing a course. But still, what a great way to start off from Seda.
Very strong run. We will see how that holds up for the challenge course run order. But coming up next is Olivia Boland Ford. Qualified second at Life Force. She also made it deep into stage 1, finished 27th at the World Championship.
And I think from a mental perspective for Olivia, even having seen just one competitor go, she saw that Seda almost cleared that course with multiple seconds left on the clock. So she knows it's definitely doable, but hopefully she can keep a good, steady, quick pace. And I didn't see a lot of wasted movements in Seda. She did a pretty good job, especially going through the second obstacle with the rings and the bar transfers. That can really be a time killer if you're not quick. So hopefully Olivia can see what Seda did and only build on that.
And here is Olivia coming to the start line. Out of Bellingham, Washington. Same city as Life Force Ninja, which she is representing today. Through the teeter-totter. Taking a cautious approach, but the cautious approach can work because the more important thing is clearing the obstacles rather than doing it fast and potentially falling.
Yeah, you're definitely right, Alex. The only issue is on a speed course like this, if you take it too safe, you may time out. But you're right, you want to still go as far as you can. And so maybe even if you don't have enough time to clear the course, if you go a little safer, a little more calculated in your movements, you at least have the chance to go further into the course.
Olivia just catching that finished platform onto the dominoes. Dominoes haven't proved much of a challenge for our athletes today. And now that cautious approach coming back to bite her, down to 12 seconds.
Yeah, as we saw yesterday in the various age groups, you can make up a lot of time right here on the obstacle if you can link all these big laches, the big flight movements from bar to bar. And if you can't do that, though, it will take a while. And unfortunately, we saw that she did time out, but still a great, great effort from Olivia.
Solid run. We will see how that holds up for the run order. As next up, we're going to have Daniela Blanchard. Daniela, a hometown girl here in the New York area. Got the transfer spot here at Ferox when we were last here in July.
And I want to touch on that home field advantage almost. She's from New York. You got some international competitors who they have traveled thousands of miles to be here. Yet this is in her backyard, so she definitely has a little bit of an advantage over some of her competitors.
She trains out of Empire Ninja with Noel Reyes, another OG of the sport.
If you see there,
Daniela's,
Alex,
go
sorry,
ahead.
she started that really quickly, very aggressively. That's what I really like to see because it shows that she is aware of the clock ticking down and she wants to try to go as quickly as possible. And even here, missing that trapeze bar on the first attempt, she stayed calm and collected and got a little more aggressive, and she made sure to get the second grab.
Veteran poise, certainly, as Daniela making her way now onto the laches. Looks like she's going to go for that sideways bar. Still plenty of time, and she saw Seda go a little bit too fast on this obstacle, ended up missing the bowl. And Danielle is going to hang on. That's going to be our first clear championship Sunday. Daniela Blanchard finishing in 102.
Now, that was a great job by Daniela. I honestly was a little concerned on that last hold. It looked like she was grabbing on just by her fingertips. I thought she might slip off, just like we saw earlier from Seda, but she held on and she finished. And again, she is setting the bar high.
There is your leaderboard so far. Daniela in first place. We will see how that holds up, because next up we have Kari Whitby. Kari won the amateur division down at Ninja Academy in Perth, Western Australia. No, hang on. Audible. It's Rebecca Harris. I believe she was a late reg, as I unfortunately don't have her on my run order. So a bit of a wild card here. Let's see how Rebecca does. Trains out of Next Level Ninjas in northern New Jersey. Joe Capo and Abby Clark run that facility. Rebecca with a good swing. Gets up to that trapeze bar. Taking a backswing. Don't want to lose too much momentum. There we go, going on the second attempt.
I was really impressed with that by Rebecca. I think she's the first competitor I've seen all weekend not get that dismount on the first attempt, but take another swing and still make that. The way that trapeze is set up, it's very hard to get any extra momentum. I know that these athletes are a little taller, clearly. Oh, she went for that big lache and she just fell short. See, that's again where there's a risk reward mentality. Okay, how much of a risk should I take to try to make up some time? And she went for it. She trusted in her ability. She just came up a little short there, but that was a great attempt from Rebecca.
Certainly true, and I feel like that was one of the faster runs to the last obstacle, so still in pretty good position to get a good placement in the challenge course.
Yeah, definitely. I would have liked to see how she would have handled those last series of obstacles because it's such a fun series that they have because you can have so many different routes you can choose. You can do the big laches, staying in the middle of that, or go to the sidebars if you want. And it plays up to each ninja's strengths, how they go about that, but it's a fun way to watch.
And now we have Kari Whitby coming out of Western Australia. We saw her brother Jai perform at a very high level, both at the Ninja Academy qualifier and here at Ferox. Kari also won down in Perth, looking to keep up that family tradition here today.
Yeah, we've definitely had some strong Australian ninjas here at these finals, and they are not disappointing. They're definitely living up to the recognition that they rightly have been getting. And Kari's getting a little hung up there, but oh, she stuck with
There
it.
we
She
go.
got the second try. A one-arm approach. I don't think we've seen that yet.
Kari threw the dominoes. She also won the Ninja Challenge League Youth Finals back in 2021. So a strong competitor in her own right. Looking to get our second clear, but she's running out of time to do so.
Yeah, this is what I talked about, Alex. If you can link some of these big Lachey moves. Oh, but she's moving quick. Oh, just
Yeah,
like a
she
little
tried
too.
for it, just didn't have enough momentum at the end.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's where it really is so important to know your strategy ahead of time. And she might have, but when you get down to the seconds just ticking away and you only have a short time before the clock expires, you do need to go so fast. And she just came up a little short, but still a great, great run by Kari.
We can see that puts her 4th out of 5 so far. Daniela Blanchard still holding up as the only clear in this division thus far, but we are just about to hit the halfway point with Talia Gewurz. Talia, another New Jersey athlete, so she's probably familiar with this facility. She should be, as she finished 2nd here in the amateur division last time we were here.
And that's really a good point, Alex. If you've competed at a location previously, even that just helps you settle in a little bit more, feel a little more comfortable, get a little less nerves going in your system. She knows she's done well here, so that's only got to boost her performance here.
Great pullbacks there on the trapeze bar. Cautiously through the dominoes and loads of time. This could potentially have beaten Sada's time. We'll have to double check.
Yeah,
In
you're
the
right.
meantime, she wants that buzzer.
Yeah, she has a lot of time, Alex, and you even see on that first ring, she has an urgency about her. She knows she wants to finish and hit that buzzer. Big Lachey's. I think she can do it if she just holds on here at the end.
She's going to take an extra backswing. That's fine. Buzzer's more important. And there it is, our second finisher, 103.24, just behind Daniela's time, but moreover, currently in 2nd place.
Yeah, that was a great, great run by Talia. Like I said, she had a sense of urgency. She had an aggressiveness that we haven't quite seen yet so far this morning. She was going to hit that buzzer and nothing was going to stand in her way.
Tremendous stuff from Talia. We will see her run late in the challenge course. That's a great position to be in. But next up, Becca Margulies, one of the course designers at Life Force, received an invite as one of our course designers. Also finished in the top 10 in the adult division at the World Championship, so a very strong ninja as well.
When you talked about her being a course designer, that knowledge of the obstacles only can be a benefit to her. She understands even more the dynamics needed to get through an obstacle. And again, some of these obstacles are very technical. You have to be right on. I'd like to see a little quicker pace from Becca right now because she is going a little conservative. But again, that might just be playing to her strengths, and she wants to make sure she gets through these obstacles and not doing something a little silly because of rushing. So we'd like to see her try to speed up a little bit, though.
Says she loves big swinging obstacles. This is right in her wheelhouse then, and she makes a dismount, 20 seconds. She will at least get to the final obstacle. I don't know if she has enough time to beat it, but she's got to go.
Yeah, again, we saw from some of the youth ninjas yesterday, this can be a big area to make up time, but you got to do those big laches. And if you do go to the side like that, it is a bit slower, so I don't think she's going to do it. Yeah, she times up a great job by Becca.
We will see her back here in the challenge course. Her fellow co-owner of Life Force, Jaden Welch, giving her some support as we take one more look at her run.
It was great. If you saw her as she timed out there, look at her face. She's got a huge smile. She's excited. She didn't clear the course, but she's still out there having a fun time. That's what you'd love to see.
And the older on in the divisions that you get, the more you see athletes, with that really positive attitude, just having a lot of fun on the course. I often say, not that Becca's in the Masters division because she's not, but the Masters division is often my favorite division just because everybody's there to have a good time and it's always very light attitude. Meanwhile, Emily Morton, another course designer, she's coming all the way from True Function in the UK.
Yeah, definitely another one of our international competitors. So, she's facing these tricky obstacles, this fast course, but also probably a lot of jet lag. So she is
Right.
having extra challenges that she has to overcome. But she's here for a reason. She earned her spot. I think she can show everybody that she belongs here. Again, I'd like to see a little quicker pace here, but if you can keep that conservative, slow pace, but not fall, that can be a great strategy. So we'll see how Emily does here. Good save right there on the trampoline.
Yeah, side of the trampoline is in play. If anything, it's about 3 p.m. local time, so she probably had her coffee a little bit before the other competitors.
Probably had tea, right?
Good point. Yeah. Well, time running out for Emily. Still, at least, is going to finish this obstacle. Let's see if she can finish the dominoes. A little bit of a hesitation, and that's going to cost her. Oh, mate. Nope, didn't get the punch.
Yeah, like we said, would have liked to see a little quicker pace. I feel like she was a little cautious out there, a little hesitant. But again, there's a lot of nerves. There's a new course. Never competed here before, so that's totally understandable. But as a ninja, you really have to have that clear strategy and know even what's my pace going to be. Not just how am I going to go about each obstacle, but what type of pace am I going to have? Am I going to have a breakneck sprint speed, or I'm going to dial it back intentionally? That's all part of what you want to have in your mind before you start.
Next up, we have Ivy Steen, third place at the World Championship a few months ago, also won the Strongest Ninja. Says she is a talented figure skater. Oh my goodness! And I mean, there you go. Sometimes the conservative approach is the way to go. As Ivy just a little, maybe too in the zone, lost her balance.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you never can discount any obstacle. A fall can happen on any one thing, and even on the obstacles that you'd think, oh, this is a piece of cake. Really, the real challenge is the obstacle after this one. Ivy showed right there, just a little off balance, and she wasn't able to save herself. I know she's disappointed, and that's going to force her to be one of our earliest competitors on the challenge course, but that doesn't mean she is counted out. She can still prove herself. She's just going to have to go at the beginning.
Well, next up, we have Madeline Zernsak, coming out of Grips in Michigan, although somehow showed up on Ninja Warrior Germany the other day. Not exactly sure what that connection is like, but she ended up clearing the entire course. Let's see if she can do it again here on the placement course.
Well, again, I think she can. You can see already just the way she's been going about this. Even though she had to take an extra swing there, she's going very quick. She's got a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of quickness to... Ooh, almost ran off of that landing platform, but she saved it. But she has a lot of time left, Alex. If she...
Ooh, careful. Okay, good save, good save.
If she doesn't go too quick here, she, I think, can definitely hit the buzzer here.
Definitely on pace for our fastest time if she can finish off this obstacle. And I also just checked my notes. She lives in Germany, or she's, originally from Germany, currently lives in the States. And I think she might beat the klaxon. Not going to beat the klaxon. Might not even get the fastest time at this point. That backswing, I mean, it got her the buzzer. 102. These ninjas in the clears are within a second of each other.
Yeah, it's such a tight competition. It shows the skill level of these ninjas. They're all so close. I am surprised that we're seeing some double swings here on that last obstacle. I don't believe we saw many of those, if any, yesterday. I do know that they're just wanting to make sure that they're not going to fall. They have some time on the clock, so that is a safe approach. So that is smart, but we didn't really see that yesterday, so that does add a couple seconds to your time. So It'll be interesting to see if our last competitors continue with that approach.
In fact, it's going to be last competitor singular. It's Heather Nelson. She was an alternate at Life Force. Got 6th place in the Masters division at the World Championship. Our only Masters competitor here, looking to show up for the Masters competitors. Great lock-off strength here on those rings.
Yeah, you're right. She really did show a lot of strength right there. And for those at home who don't understand some of the ninja terminology that we talk about, a lock-off, basically you think of a pull-up position, but only in one arm. And so it's a huge strength asset if you can do that. Oh, Heather's getting a little caught up here. She's going to have to be a lot more aggressive, maybe get that ring. Yep, get another pull here. Hopefully she can get this.
There we go. Did beat the launch coaster at the World Championship. This is a pretty similar obstacle. I'm not sure it was sloped that high for the Masters. And Heather, unfortunately, is going to come up a little bit short. Going to be a little bit early in the run order. But like I said, the Masters have so much fun on this course. Infectious energy.
Yeah, definitely. Again, she fell short there. But first thing you see, big smile, 2 thumbs up. Love to see that. I know she wanted to do better, probably go further, maybe even finish that course. But great attitude from Heather. And, she just fell a little short on that trapeze bar. We did see that a lot from competitors yesterday. You need to have a big swing there. And she just fell a little short.
Well, let's take a look at some of those clears as we wrap up this division. Daniela Blanchard, Madeline Zernsak, and Talia Gewurz all clearing all within less than a second of each other.
Yeah, that is crazy right there, Alex. I have had experience firsthand with tenths of a second difference between first and second place. So I know what that's about. It just shows that everything matters. One extra swing here, a slight pause there can be the difference between first and third or even 5th place. So our top 3 so close, and it's going to be an exciting challenge course.
There's a poem from my childhood that I don't recall off the top of my head, but it tells the lesson about time waits for no one, and asking an Olympic runner about the value of 100th of a second. You got to ask these ninjas about the value of tenths of a second. They are very close to each other. But I'd like to take a look at some of these clears, starting with 3rd place Talia Gewurz, clearing in 1:03.24. Talia, a very strong run from here in the area. Here is Talia's run.
And again, what I liked from Talia, as I said earlier, she just had an attitude that she was going to attack this course. She was going quick. She had a lot of power, and it showed up in her finish right there.
And now we'll take a look at 2nd place Madeline Zernsak. Had an opportunity for first, and ultimately just took an extra backswing to be safe, made sure she got the buzzer, and it is going to end up costing her a place in the challenge course run order. Another look at her run.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, even in all these top 3, they have very similar styles. They all have this just power, and they're hitting the course with authority and kind of a, I'm take no prisoners kind of mentality. They all very much resembled each other in their quickness. Very exciting to see that.
Exactly right. We'll take a look at Daniela Blanchard. And speaking of similar styles, if you don't look at the tenths of a second, similar time too, both 1:02. Daniela with a very strong run. You could tell the veteran presence the entire way through.
And I do believe she was one of the only ones to do that last hold on the first try, whereas Madeline and Talia both took extra swings. So that was great by Daniela. But again, it shows that every little thing counts when it comes to your time. So had Madeline or Daniela done that, they would have been maybe in first place.
Exactly right. And thanks to our friends at NinjaWorks, we have very accurate timings down to the tenths of a second. I remember the dark ages when we had, just plain old seconds on a stopwatch. I had to sort out a 3-way tie once. No more, thanks to NinjaWorks, the ultimate in ninja timing systems. Of course, we have not only the app that's available to all of our all of our facilities to get results on the internet in real time. Great feature for all of our athletes and their families, but also they provide a lot of physical equipment for facilities that would like to acquire them: lights, buzzers, timers, all sorts of stuff. So for all of your ninja timing needs, check out ninjaworks.com. Our thanks to NinjaWorks for powering the World Ninja League and the World Ninja League Premier Series. And for all of your chalk needs, you can check out Slap Chalks, and we go to this video from Joseph Rouse.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my chalk bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slap Chalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slap Chalks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, Rock Climber, and the CEO of Slap Chalks.
We'll see Joseph in a little bit in the amateur male division. And next up, we'd like to thank DGS Ninja, the official obstacle supplier of the WNL Championships. Looking forward to our 6th year of partnership with them. Really could not do that event without DGS and their incredible support and their incredible obstacles as well. All kinds of new stuff being worked up in their lab up in Connecticut, all the time. So definitely go check out some of their cool new obstacles at dgsninja.com. And finally, for our sponsors, we'd like to thank Ocean Needs Everyone. Here is a video from Enzo Wilson.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, seal and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Sorry about that. Thought I had more time than I did. Well, we can see here the 3 athletes that cleared the the placement course. Daniela will have that anchor leg, finished 4th here at Ferox, finished 4th at Ferox in the qualifying competition, but in great position to take the win here today at the Premier Series Finals, running last.
Yeah, and what you see there in that picture even of Daniela is something I noticed when she was running that course. Having the earbuds in. You don't necessarily see too many ninjas running with earbuds or headphones. We did see another competitor do that, but it's kind of funny. It's her way of going about doing this. She has her methodology. She's sticking to it. She gets in the zone, and so it's great seeing all the uniqueness of all these competitors of how they approach these courses.
She will be running last. She'll know exactly what she needs to do to claim the championship, but a lot of strong athletes running before her. Obviously, Madeline and Talia getting the clear. But how about Seda Magtoto? She was right there up with these 3, might have even been a little bit faster, and just bobbled that bull hold. We'll see how she does See if she can be the second international athlete to claim a Premier Series championship. And first up, we're going to have Ivy Steen looking for some revenge as she went out early on the placement course, just went a little bit too fast on that first obstacle.
Yeah, and she really does get a chance for redemption right here. And even to my last comment, she is running with headphones right now. So she gets a chance to show everybody that that was a fluke, what happened on the placement course. Oh, she did fall. So she's going to get to use one of her retries. So she gets a retry here. If she falls again on this obstacle, then her course run is done. So she does have to be super careful right here.
Talented figure skater, a lot of body awareness, technical ability acquired for that sport. Onto the flying bar, they at least get this extra bar so they can skip a move. And she is onto the finish. Now Skyhook Chaos. This was a sneaky crux point for some of the earlier divisions. Let's see how our amateurs can handle it.
Yeah, it really was a tricky obstacle. And not only that, but a time and energy killer. But Ivy making quick work of that obstacle.
Onto the Slogies. A new element here at Ferox. Half very small cliffhanger, half sloper.
Yeah, and for people who might not understand at home, a sloper is that kind of half globe hold that she's got her left hand on. And that is incredibly hard to hold on to. You need so much grip strength, but right now Ivy's doing so well. If she can just finish this, that'd be super impressive. First one up, first one this far already. That's impressive.
And we mentioned the earbuds. Ivy's going full old school headphones here.
Yeah, she definitely is. I think maybe a new touch point we need is to find out what music some of these athletes are running to.
Completely agree. Thought at first because the figure skater, they were earmuffs. Well, just misses the board drop. That's going to be her second retry. She's all out of retries. Clock does stop while the obstacle is reset.
And what I will say about this retry system, it's nice because it does allow the athlete to relax just a little bit. But once you get into this place where Ivy is at, where you cannot fall, it does up the pressure. But oh, just falling short. She needed to get a little higher to that second board. Great try by Ivy, but what I was saying, it does up the pressure, and you really have to deliver, and unfortunately, she just came a little short on that.
Well, if nothing else, after some early falls on both the placement and challenge course, I'm definitely glad we got to see Ivy's strengths in play here. Great recoveries. And then ultimately just the board drop needed just a little bit more height there. Nevertheless, strong run by Ivy Stein to set the bar.
Yeah, and I love what you said. She fell on the flying bar, but she got back up and she made it her next try. I love seeing ninjas who face adversity, but then they make the necessary changes and then conquer it on the next try.
Next up is going to be Heather Nelson, 4th in the power rankings for the Masters division, 6th at the World Championship. Although she didn't get a whole lot of rest time, she was the last runner of the placement course. Like I said, that infectious energy. Let's see how she handles this challenge course.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. I think she didn't have nearly as much rest time as some of the other competitors, but I still think she had enough that it could have served almost as a good warm-up for her on this course. She didn't have enough time for her body to cool back down, so she should be ready to go. Hopefully she can see what was done just before her and go even further.
Well, here's these fidget spinners. They were connected for the preteens. We disconnected them for this division, so they're just some traditional fidget spinners. First saw those at the World Championship back in 2020, pre-COVID.
You know, something here on this flying bar, for those watching who might not have done Ninja before, you see Ninja's having this mixed grip. And the reason for that is that bar spins. Clearly it is moving around in those cradles to where even if she had too big of a swing, she could go right off with the bar. So by getting that mixed grip, it controls the bar, it locks it in, it keeps it from spinning. and makes it a much more doable and energy efficient obstacle.
Exactly right. As Heather, making her way through Skyhook Chaos, gets the jump. That first hook that they jump from is very slippery, so you've got to go right away. We saw a couple athletes try to hang on to that for just a little bit too long in earlier divisions and fell right off. So great awareness by Heather. Also making that additional ring toss move to get through and now onto Slogie's unblemished.
Yeah, and one thing to point out, though, this is such a long and grueling course. It takes so much upper body and grip strength that one thing, see, her hands are already starting to give out. But when she was on the rings on Skyhook, previous obstacle, there was quite a bit of hanging. And it might not seem like a whole lot, but when you have 5 to 10 seconds of extra hanging, that's all grip strength. And when you have an obstacle like the Slogies, followed, plus all the other obstacles, you need to conserve every bit. And unfortunately, Heather just gave out. Her strength was not quite enough, but she still did a great job. There's that smile. Good job.
Taking one more look at her run, unblemished up to that Sluggies point. We did mention can't use both retries on the same obstacle, so you only get the 2 shots. One thing I do want to point out, though, she skipped that T-ledge and went straight from the first to the second Slogie, so definitely has some grip strength in her wheelhouse, maybe just ran out of gas.
Yeah, some people don't quite understand just how quickly that finger strength can diminish. Sometimes I've seen these incredible world-class rock climbers who they seem like they can hang for days, and most of them can, but for the rest of us, that strength does not last too long. So these little tiny cliffhanger ledges and slopers, they are very taxing, and typically you can't hold on too long.
Next up, we have Emily Morton, our lone UK representative in this heat. Dion Trigg, her fellow course designer at True Function, came all the way out here ultimately just to coach. We offered him a spot in the elite division, and he said he wanted to focus on coaching. So let's see how his athletes do in Emily Morton.
Again, we're seeing similar to the placement course, Emily is
Nice
having a little bit more of a cautious and more calculated approach. Perhaps that's going to help her, but we're going to have to see if she missed that first try in the flying bar. So again, like we saw earlier from some of the athletes, she's got to make it this time. If she falls, she unfortunately will be done.
We saw Ivy use up a retry on this obstacle, beat it on the second attempt. Let's see if Emily can do the same. She can! At least for that first jump. Still needs to get to this bar. Which it spun out on her! Almost got hit by the bar as well. Thankfully she's okay, laughing it off. Got to the bar, but tried to front grip it. It spun out on her. And that, unfortunately, is going to be the end of Emily's Premier Series finals.
Yeah, it almost looked like as she made that transfer, her left hand stayed on that bar. Instead of both hands going about the same time, she was probably trying what's called a 1-2 technique, where your hands don't release at the same time. You go one hand and then the other, but unfortunately with a bar that is not stable, that is very tricky to do, and it unfortunately came back to bite her there.
Next up, Olivia Boland-Ford finished second at Life Force, which is her home gym. Home field advantage, though, is gone here. Gets up to that spinner. Trying to make Lachey, easily has it. This obstacle not proving to be nearly as difficult as it was for some of the other divisions. Obviously, quite a bit more wingspan compared to, say, mature kids or preteens. Had the right idea there on flying bar. Maybe he needs to get a little bit more knees, a little bit more of a kick.
Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. I think she needs just a little bit more power to get a little more height because she was just too low and her body's not able to absorb the shock properly. Oh, she got it there,
Gets a
though.
second attempt. But we've seen it's not trivial from here. There we go. She's got the bar. She knows now that it's going to spin out on her, so she had the mixed grip, and she is through, still with a retry to spare.
What I'd like to see from all these competitors as the day progresses, when you see people go before you, it's so important to pay attention to the technique that they are using. So as we go deeper and deeper into the field, it's curious to see how many people are watching, what worked for the ninjas before them, and are they going to copy that technique? Oh!
That ring slipped out on her. That's okay. We'll reset. And again, you can watch competitors as much as you want, but we've mentioned it earlier. You really don't know exactly how it's going to handle until you get up there yourself.
Yeah, exactly right. It's incredibly good to have a mental game plan to how you think it's going to work, but you're right. Sometimes you get up there and you realize, oh, this is not what I expected. And that, again, is why it's so important to watch other ninjas, because if they start falling doing a technique that you thought was going to work, you need to try to figure out, is there a different way that I'm supposed to be doing this?
For instance, we saw Heather a moment ago try to make that make a ring toss move from that slippery cradle. Unfortunately, Olivia just shot for the dismount, didn't work, and she is going to see her Premier Series finals end. Still, though, at least got redemption on that flying bar.
Yeah, again, I said this before, Alex, but it's so great to see if somebody falls, but getting back up and trying it again, having success. That's so great because it's a big mental challenge. Knowing, hey, I just fell on this, and if I fall again, I'm done. So to see them get up and get redemption, that's such a great, great thing to see.
Exactly right. And we're going to go now to Becca Margulies. We saw one course designer earlier in Emily. Now we're taking a look at Becca. Top 10 at the World Championship in the adult division. She mentioned on her bio she loves big swinging obstacles and technical challenges. The big swinging obstacles were in the placement course. Now it is technical challenge after technical challenge.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how she lives up to this technical course, because you're right, there's so many precise movements required on this, and that's great. Wasting no time right there on fidget spinners.
Becca and Jaden, the co-owners of Life Force, won the Best Course Design Award for Season 8. They also had a fantastic course over at Life Force in the Premier Series a few months ago.
Yeah, and a lot of people might not understand just how tricky it is to design a course. And Becca just barely making that dismount, but it really is hard to come up with a course that is not too hard, but also not too easy, just that sweet spot in the middle. It's really very, very tricky. And so if you get an award for Best Course Designer, that really means something.
Definitely takes a lot of inventive intelligence, something Becca and Jaden have in spades. Becca making that skyhook move, same as Heather. Kind of twisting that rein to get it to lock into place as she makes it through, again, unblemished, trying to work on slogies now.
What I liked there from Becca, it almost looked like that was a bit of a mistake. Her ring looked like it slid off without her desiring that, but she made a quick adjustment on the fly and wound up getting through that no problem.
Getting a little caught up on this first slogie, trying to feel it out. But we'll get a retry if she falls. Hopefully not falling, though.
On an obstacle like the slogies, this is where being efficient with your movements and your time is so important, because the longer you are hanging there, It's a lot of weight being supported by just a little bit of fingertips and a little bit of grip. So even if you are just hanging for 5 seconds, that is precious 5 seconds. So trying to be as quick, as intentional, no wasted time, super, super important. We saw Becca fall that first time. Hopefully she's going to get it this time, and she's wisely taking some time, strategizing, trying to shake out those muscles. Hopefully she can get it this time.
The clock restarts not when you're ready, but when the resetters are ready. So she took quite a bit of extra time there, trying to kind of punch those forearms, get the lactic acids flowing again. Missing the grab, though, and Slogies claims another victim. It's been brutal all weekend long.
Yeah, it really
Unfortunately,
has.
it's going to be the end of Becca.
Yeah, it has, Alex. It's been such a difficult challenge, and it really shows the precision required when you do these ninja obstacles, because if you are even just 1 or 2 centimeters in the wrong spot with your grab, that's what can happen right there. You wind up on the ground with your course over. But good job from Becca. Again, that infectious smile and great attitude. Love to see that.
Well, Ivy Steen, the first runner, went out on the first obstacle of the placement course, but she is currently in first place. Only athlete so far to beat Slogies. We'll see how our second half of the competitors are going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I think so far we've had issues there, but we have got some great, strong athletes still to go. So I think we're going to see more clears on the Slogie, and hopefully I want to see somebody hit the buzzer.
Next up, Kari Whitby. We saw her brother Jai make a deep run into this course yesterday. But again, Kari, an incredibly talented ninja in her own right, a stacked resume down in Australian leagues. This, her first competition in the US.
I liked what I saw right there on the fidget spinners. She was able to static that transfer, and I know you talked about that earlier, some other ninja athletes staticking, and what staticking means is instead of flying through the air, which potentially can take more energy, it is where you can grab. While one hand is still on your original hold, the second hand grabs the next hold, and you sit there like that. That's called a static, and hers was a very fast static, but it still was a static nonetheless, but very quick and efficient from an energy standpoint.
She specifically mentioned bar hop on her bio. She easily got the flying bar and is making good work here of the Skyhook Chaos. Looks like she's going right for the dismount and got it.
Ooh, that was pretty close. So that's one of those things where you have to know for sure if it's worth going for. And I know she would not have been happy had she missed that landing platform and had to do a retry. But it did work out, thankfully. But that's where being super focused is so important.
Ninja Mania coach on her sideline, by the way. Do love our sports ability to find coaches from just about everywhere. But meanwhile, Kari making great work of these Slogies, great grip strength, looking to join Ivy on that sixth obstacle.
Yeah, right now, Alex, she is making good work of this obstacle. She only has one hold left. If she can get this, I think she is definitely going to clear.
She's got it, and she is going to be the first athlete in the amateur division to be unblemished through 5 obstacles.
Yeah, and that is
check her time to see if that puts her in first place.
Yeah, it's a great point to make. She has not used any retries yet, so it's got to be a bit of a boost to her confidence, and hopefully can help her settle in and focus and relax and just continue to crush these obstacles. Because again, we haven't seen anybody get past this obstacle, so if she does, she will be again blazing the trail for those yet to come. So hopefully Kari can make it through this and get into uncharted territory.
Well, the downside is she's using a lot of time here. Showing some fatigue inside of a minute now.
Yeah, you're right. She really is using a lot of time, which shows that maybe those Slogies took more out of her than we even realized. She knows how she's feeling, and if sitting there for so long. She must be getting pretty gassed out. So we'll see if she can make this. Oh, and she does.
She's got it! First today to catch. Shimmying her way across this board. Got her reel on the platform now. That will guarantee her first place for the moment. And reels it in. Kari Whitby is going to give us our first look at Don't Worry, There's a Safety Line.
That is so great of a performance right there from Kari. And, even getting off of an obstacle like that would look very simple. She pulls herself up with her legs. It does look like she's going to time out here. Just not enough left in the tank, I don't think. Oh.
Well, there's that safety line.
Yeah, that was a great run by Kari. What I was saying is I've even pulled a hamstring trying to pull myself up with legs the way she did to that platform. But she is the furthest that we have seen so far in this amateur division. Great job, Kari. Great heart, great determination. That was an excellent run.
Tremendous stuff by Kari. First today to make that catch. She's definitely shown a lot of great power, great grip strength throughout this competition here today. We are on to our final 5 competitors. Next up is going to be Rebecca Harris, second in the power rankings in Season 8. Let's see if she can similarly finish on the podium here today. We know what she's going to have to do. She's going to at least have to beat the slowies, and at least have to beat the obstacle after it, board drop, in a fast enough time to move into first.
Well, what I love about a course like this challenge course, whereas speed is the name of the game in the placement course, this really shows even more the level of conditioning that these athletes have been putting in and where they're at, because you really can't make it through a course like this if you're not in tip-top shape. And these athletes are already very, very strong, but the ones who are finishing the courses and placing first, second, or third, they have really put in so much extra effort in conditioning because their bodies are ready for it. So that's always exciting to see just who has put in the work and just see the kind of performances that they come up with.
Well, Rebecca's showing fantastic power thus far, gliding through the spinners and now similarly through the flying bar.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. We've seen several ninjas just barely make that dismount from the flying bar. You wouldn't think it would be so challenging, but there's been some close calls. So I'm glad that they're going for it, but hopefully we're not going to see anybody fall short on that.
Rebecca showing us just why she was ranked so highly. Getting some chalk from Coach Joe Capo. Now, how's her finger strength?
Yeah, even getting chalk like that shows strategy, it shows wisdom. Sometimes you get on the course and you get so focused and so dialed in, you forget about the necessities. Honestly, you can even forget to breathe normally when you're out there on the course. So it's great that she stopped there, took a second, shook out her muscles, got a breath, got some chalk. Hopefully she's going to make it through this slogies.
Now on to the last one. This is the biggest move of the obstacle. Trying to find her hand positioning, going right to the sloper, but unfortunately peels off.
Yeah, she was so close there. I thought she was going to make it. I was a little concerned since it took her several swings to go for that. Sometimes when you see that, it actually happens when your strength is starting to fatigue and fail a bit because you just don't have quite enough to have that burst to make that move. I thought she was going to pull it off though, but that sloper, it is truly such a hard obstacle to grasp, and it did just prove a little too much. Hopefully she can get it the second time, but you know she's got to be fatigued.
Especially when you're hanging onto the sloper with only one hand.
Definitely, a one-handed sloper is quite challenging.
A little bit of a slip there, but a recovery. She does have this second T-ledge That's much of a reprieve.
That was a good save right there. She was,
And ran out of gas.
yeah,
Unfortunately, Rebecca not going to make it through the slogies like so many of her fellow athletes today, but showed a lot of great power on those first 4 obstacles.
She definitely did, and it just looked like on the slogies there, her fingertips were just starting to give out, and she actually had a good save right before she slipped there on that T hold. She had a finger or two off, but she was able to get them both back on, but then did fall on that next transfer. But great job.
Kari Whitby remaining in first place. And next up is our Canadian representative, Seda Megtoto. Number 1 qualifier at the Life Force qualifier. Also finished 4th at last year's Canadian Ninja League finals.
Yeah, really, I'm excited to see what Seda does here, because she was our first one to run on the placement course and fell just short on the last hold and wasn't able to clear that course. So she is wanting some redemption. She's even got some nice bicycle kick technique there, getting her
Incredible
swing.
power. It's the easiest we've seen the fidget. Easiest we've seen those fidget spinners so far today. You know they train flying bar at Life Force. She gets the hop.
See, again there, she had that bicycle kick technique. And for those who don't quite know what I'm talking, in the backswing, you'll see her kick her legs 1, 2. They're kind of separated to help her generate more front swing. So that's some great technique that you're watching right now.
Onto skyhook chaos! And like we said, that hook is really slippery. Got to be careful when you're up there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did see that from a couple competitors yesterday. If you get a little too much of a pull down and bending your arms, unfortunately, that ring, instead of flying forward into the next hook, can come right back at you, and that is what we saw from Seda. Hopefully she can correct here. Oh, she does.
This hook, not trivial. It's similarly slippery. Just trying to make that big move. And getting that one arm swing, great work.
Yeah, she's doing a great job, and even saw her right there as she got onto that landing platform. She's hitting her hands. That's slap chalk right there. She is wearing that, helping her stay chalked up in the middle of her course run, cutting down on the time necessary to have a coach come and bring a chalk bag to her. So very smart right there.
Shout out Slap Chalks. That's Slap Chalk sighting number 3. Mary was starting to keep a count yesterday. Reels in that T-ledge, just about got a fingertip on it and then able to recover. Already lined up for that final slogie, but this is the hardest move of the obstacle, and we can see there, just didn't have it. Needed maybe to choke up a little bit on that 4th slogie.
What makes this obstacle so challenging is that it really does sap you of so much strength. So to get to the very last one, like we just saw from Seda, and then fall, unfortunately it means that she has to regroup and go through the entire series of holds again. And her grip is super tired. This is where, again, it comes down to your training. It even comes down to mental fortitude. Oh, she just doesn't have it. Good job from Seda, though.
I think she knew she was starting to run out of gas. Tried to skip that 2nd slogie, go straight to the 3rd. Unfortunately, just didn't have that grip strength remaining. A little bit of a scary fall there on Skyhook Chaos, but as you mentioned yesterday, a lot of mats in this gym. Everybody's falls have been incredibly safe all weekend long.
Yeah, I really want to.
Slogies. So go ahead.
Yeah, I want to really applaud Ferox. If you look on here, you do see mats everywhere, mats upon mats, and they're wanting to make sure everybody is as safe as possible. I've definitely seen my share of sketchy backyard courses in my day that don't have a lot of safety, so I love seeing that Ferox is all about safety of the ninja athletes here and making sure that injuries are kept to a definite minimum.
Yeah, safety is the number one thing we look at when facilities apply to the World Ninja League. If you do get into the World Ninja League, it's because your facility is very safe for all competitors of all ages. Well, Travis, we are on to our final three athletes. They are the three athletes that were within 9/10 of a second of each other. All three hit the buzzer. First up is going to be Talia Gwertz.
I'm so excited to see what Talia brings to this course because, again, as we talked about in the placement course, she had just a bit of a different approach, just very, very aggressive, similar to the other two who finished top three. But I think we could definitely see her match the furthest run, if not go beyond, maybe even finish this course.
Well, so far, so good. Through the first three obstacles. Little hang up there, trying to get into that hook on Skyhook Chaos. That start platform a little wobbly. But I think it is strapped down, if I'm seeing correctly. Makes the jump. Additionally, makes the hand-over-hand ring toss move. And she is on to Slogies with a great time.
Well, and what's so important to point out is if you do a great job of being quick through the obstacles without taking much break, you can also afford to take a few seconds before the more challenging obstacles. And that's just what she did. She was very, very quick up to this point, and then she wisely decided to take a moment, chalk up, make sure she has the right strategy, and I think that's ultimately going to help her clear this obstacle.
Only a few athletes have made this move right here. This is the one that's challenging, and it slips! Talia actually maybe jumped a little bit too far there, caught the back edge of it, and then didn't have her fingers all the way on that cliff ledge. Getting some advice from Joe Capo here.
Yeah, she's actually the first athlete this morning to actually try to do somewhat of a little lâché on that last hold versus a static grab. I was kind of surprised. A very aggressive move. To do that, I think she needs just a little bit more height and get her hands there a little quicker so she can grab and absorb her body weight in time before her hands rip off. But I think what you said was accurate too, Alex. I think one hand just barely missed the placement that she wanted, and that might have been what caused her to fall.
Now, given that, she might be going for the skip here. See if it's possible. Might unlock some beta for her fellow competitors. If it doesn't work, her run's going to be over, but it does!
Wow.
And still with the retry in her back pocket. Gutsy move there from Talia.
That was a very gutsy move. I don't think I've seen that yet in this competition. That was super impressive. I honestly, as she was getting more speed and momentum, I was thinking this might not be the best option for her, but she did it. She knows her abilities, and she went for it, and she proved me wrong. Oh, but she is getting tired.
Yeah, the grip strength starting to give out. She was not faster than Ivy here, so she will need to clear this obstacle to get into the top two and perhaps into first place if she can beat Kari's time.
When I think watching Talia skip there at the end, it just goes to prove that she knows her. Oh yeah, she's gassed out. That was a great course run from Talia. She was flying through that. She knew that she probably didn't have enough gas to make that last hold on Slogies, so she chose to go for that big move, and she did make it, but not enough left to finish that last obstacle she was trying. But great time, Talia.
Well, we are on to our final two competitors. Kari Whitby is guaranteed a podium. She's going to be taking a medal back to Australia.
Well, yeah, and at this point, this is where it is, again, advantageous to be one of the last runners, because if you're wanting to get first or at least podium, you kind of know what you have to do at this point. She knows that Madeline has to get as far as Kari, faster than Kari, if she wants to try to get first place for the time being. And Obviously, the last runner has the most advantage, knowing exactly what they need to do. But now there's expectations set. Okay, this is what I need to do if I want to potentially win.
Madeline Zernsak, originally from Germany, trains out of Grips Ninja. We can see there her coach, Philip Scott, one of our WNL employees, on her sideline. Always got to shout out Philip. Second place at Austin Ninjas, where she qualified for this competition today. And already through the first 3 obstacles, while I read off her accolades.
What I like from watching Madeline today, she really seems to embody a mixture of, well, she had a little slip up there, but she corrected. That's a great save right there. She embodies power, but a lot of intellect as she approaches these obstacles. And sometimes things don't go exactly as you thought they might, like we just saw right there, but she was able to correct. She was able to think quickly and save that, not having to use one of her retries.
Yeah, great lock-off ability by Madeline there. Let's see if she can put that similarly to the test here on the Slogies. Actually starting to get caught up backwards. I don't know if this is part of her strategy or just improvisation. Okay, well, it worked.
What I love to see is when something does go a little sideways from what you were hoping, but
Slipped. Didn't
But-
quite get off the slipper like she wanted to.
But yeah, when a ninja can make corrections on the fly, that is so impressive. Sometimes things just don't go as you had planned, but if you can correct it, that's so impressive in my book.
Oh no, she tried to skip the T-ledge and go for the second, and Madeline is out.
Yeah, I guess I'm definitely a bit shocked. I thought that she was going to make it through the Slogies, perhaps to tie up Kari, but that is a really challenging. I think right here on the skyhook, getting a little hung up there probably taxed her just a little too much, and maybe was the difference between making the Slogies and falling.
I wonder if on that first time when she got spun around kind of spooked her on that T-ledge. We're going to see Madeline currently in 5th place. We'll at least get top half, but you know she wanted to get further than that. Well, the championship medal is either going all the way to the other side of the world or it's staying here in the New York metro area. Daniela Blanchard is going to be our final competitor.
Yeah, and what I was just talking about on the last run, so now Daniela being the last, she knows what she needs to do to win. If she gets past the obstacle that Kari made it to, regardless of time, she is our champion. If she gets to the same obstacle and times out or falls, it's going to come down to how much time she had left on the previous clear. So she knows what she needs to do. It definitely can help from a strategy and time management standpoint. So we're going to see how Daniela handles this.
Yeah, immediately going on all of these obstacles, wasting no time. Although having to burn a retry there, just didn't have enough of a jump on that skyhook jump.
Yeah, again, that just shows the precision. She was about an inch under that hook. And again, getting a bit caught up here. This is going to be wasting time and energy that Daniela definitely needs. So hopefully she can regroup here.
Yeah, she was trying to fly through those first 4 obstacles. Speed kind of killed on the 4th. Trying to save energy here for the Slogies. Great lock-off strength. Exactly what you need for this obstacle. Trying to make it through as quickly as possible. Doesn't want to waste time here.
I like what I see so far. I think she is showing a lot of poise and confidence. And yeah, we saw it. She just completely blew up that obstacle.
That is basically right on Ivy Steen's pace for 2nd place. If she beats this obstacle, she should be faster than Kari. But moreover, does actually need to beat it. This has proven to be one of the most difficult obstacles on this course.
Now, the biggest test for Daniela right here is going to be, can she generate enough swing and can her fingertips hold out to pop her up as high as she needs to go and make the, oh, she
Yeah,
fell.
you really can't grab the front of that. That's going to turn into a sloper. And on the other hand, too, that board does rock back and forth, kind of eats up a little bit of your momentum.
Well, she knows that this is it. She has to finish this if she wants to potentially place first. She's really going to have to dig as deep as possible and give this all that she has. I think she can do it. She just has to be really precise and generate just as much swing and power as she can.
Here we go, the moment of truth. Is it going to be Daniela or Kari? It's all down to this. She has the right idea here. The jump! No, it slips out of her grasp, and Kari Whitby will take the championship to the other side of the world. She is our Premier Series champion in the amateur female division.
Well, you still have to give so much credit to Daniela. She was doing such an outstanding job. She did again get stuck on Skyhook here, and that again might have meant the difference in first and second place, but she did a great job, just didn't have quite enough. It came down to an inch or so right there on that grab, but again, she's smiling. Great attitude, great job. And actually, Daniela did get third, not second, my apologies, but still, great job.
Yeah, Ivy Steen, we'll get to Kari winning the championship in just a moment, but how about Ivy Steen falling early on the placement course? We mentioned that's not always the be-all, end-all. She ends up taking second place. Tremendous stuff by Ivy. Let's take one more look at her run.
I loved watching Ivy run this course. You could tell she, again, was not thrilled with how she did on the placement course, and she wanted to get some redemption, show everybody what she's made of, and she did just that. She did a great job, and it shows because she is second place.
Burned up a retry on flying bar and then just ran out of gas there on board drop. Tremendous stuff. She was disappointed at the time, but she's got to be pretty happy with how it ended up, finishing in second.
Yeah, I would hope so. I know she wanted to hit the buzzer and finish the course, but again, this is a super tricky, challenging technical course, so second place is definitely nothing to be upset about.
Well, now we move on to our Premier Series champion, the first ever amateur female champion. It's Kari Whitby.
And what was great about Kari, she did go a little earlier in the competition, and she did so well. Again, it just goes to show that just because you didn't get the fastest time in the placement round, you can still wind up doing really well, and she's our champ.
Well-earned championship. Congratulations to Kari. Again, a little bit disappointed when she came off, but had no way of knowing that that was going to be good enough for the championship. And now she's going to take her medal from Zach Eichenstein. We'll go down to the podium. We'll go down to the floor for the podium presentation.
In second place, we have Ivy Steen. And in first place, with a long flight to get here, we have Kari Whitby.
There you see it right there. Kari, your champion, representing Australia with the flag. But great job, first, second, and third place finishers. First ever Premier League finals.
Kari joins Olivia Vivian as our only Australian world champions. Before yesterday, it was only Olivia and a few Canadians that had claimed a world championship internationally. We saw Hala Gilboa claim the preteen championship for Israel, and now Kari Whitby claims it for Australia in the amateur division. You can see we're tad bit behind the 8 ball. I will take personal fault for that as my router decided not to work this morning. But we will be on the amateur men's division. Travis and I will rejoin you over on that stream. We'll catch you in a little bit.